DeFi has something to offer everybody. It depends what you as an individual choose to lean into.
And in 37 days, we went from $1.37 to $8,000. So that's a 600,000% in 37 days.
What's your thoughts on meme tokens?
Everyone thought, okay, well, NFTs it's the future of everything, right? There's a huge euphoria and people were kind of blinded by that.
How have you found your career as improved since you became #1 on Amazon Prime?
It's hard to quantify these things, right? Obviously, it helps with the brand.
Is crypto gambling?
Some people would say that most crypto investors are gamblers. It's as much gambling as the stock market is gambling.
Cryptocurrency is here to stay. I think the traditional regulated financial world needs to embrace that.
I'm talking about no more than 2 years. We're going to have more AI agents trade in the market.
Hello and welcome to BetTalks, powered to you by 0x Processing. I'm Rick Godds and I'm joined by another guest. He is an entrepreneur, a crypto enthusiast. He is the CEO and co-founder of The Block. Danosch, welcome to BetTalks.
Thank you so much, Rick. Pleasure to be here.
Brilliant, brilliant. Great having you here. I know obviously we've been in talks to get you obviously on the show. Thanks for coming down.
Thanks for having me.
I want to know more about what you've been doing. We have known each other for several years, right? This is not a first meet.
Without you knowing.
Without me knowing. And then we've met obviously so many different networking events. You're running your own events as well in Dubai. But I want to know more about sort of what it is you're doing now. Obviously, The Block. I've had a read of it. It looks quite exciting. Tell me more.
All right. So The Block is an initiative by myself and a few of the co-founders, a guy called Farbod Saderian. He was a few years, more than 20, 25 years in software, built a lot of software in Austria for a lot of big companies, then realized that about 6 years ago, there was a lot of companies that wanted to build software in tokenization. Realized that there's a huge demand from companies in Europe to relocate to the UAE. So in fact, he came here about 9 months ago to set up his own company with Vara and realized that it's not always as straightforward as one would imagine. You know, Dubai still being quite at the forefront of things, but on the regulatory landscape, things can be quite complicated, not always very easy. And once you have your license, there wasn't really an ecosystem or a hub or some place where you could really get access to everyone under the same roof.
Yeah.
And that's how the conversations kind of started. And then he came up with the idea that why don't we set up a chamber for virtual assets right here in the UAE, in Dubai. And the whole purpose of that was really to bring together all the big players, all the startups, everyone really under one roof, so that if you, let's say, for example, if you're, let's say, like 0x Processing, a payment provider, and you want to have access to crypto companies, or you want to have access to stable coins, or you want to have access to certain companies that want to use your services, you can find all of that with us.
On The Block.
On The Block.
Okay, so it's a bit of a blockchain kind of theory, networking kind of tool.
Yeah, so look, the blockchain is all about the network itself, right? Yeah. But many times we fail to duplicate that network in reality, in the physical world. So what we have created now is, I would say, a network that is second to none, where we have a big physical presence. So we have a huge co-working office spaces that we're building right now in Dubai World Trade Center. And then we have an experience center, which is a 500 square meter space in a retail unit in One Central, so just across the street from Bybit on the ground floor, which is going to be used to host a lot of cool events. We're going to have a podcast studio. Would love to have you there as well.
Absolutely, we'll be down.
Yeah, and there's going to be cafe for the members. So it's a really cool spot that's going to come to life very soon.
So you're in partnership with the Dubai World Trade Center, correct?
They are endorsing this project correctly, yeah.
That's pretty big, huh? Yeah. I mean, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
So, I mean, listen, you've been around the sort of crypto blockchain, sort of now Web3 space for many years, right? I mean, you've been in Dubai 9 years.
9 years.
I mean, you've seen the market change sort of drastically, okay? Some for the better, some for the worse. Yeah. How have you found yourself sort of stabilizing in that market and sort of adapting?
Look, there's one thing that is certain, and that's that this market is never stable. You can never stabilize in this market. It's constantly changing, and you constantly need to evolve with the market. You know, one of the things that I noticed, because before The Block, I started something called ArtStyle, which became the largest Web3 community out here. And the people that passed the, let's say, 3-4 years without scamming anyone, or without being shady, or without being dodgy, and the people that actually were building solid products and were building their reputations, I can see those people really flourishing now in the second wave of crypto. So it was really about building your own personal brand and building your reputation. And now, when the markets are changing, a lot of people are moving into new positions, new jobs, new opportunities, and it's all about how quickly you can adapt to the ever-changing world.
Good answer. I like that, yeah. So the Arts DAO, tell me more about this. I mean, you've done over 50 events in Dubai. Is this just an event or networking kind of meetups? What was the whole purpose of it?
Look, initially the purpose of Arts DAO was just to help traditional artists get into the NFT space.
Yeah.
And back then, with the Bored Apes, just going crazy, and all these NFT projects going crazy, and artists like Snoop Dogg, Eminem, all of these guys using these PFPs as their profile pictures, everyone thought, okay, well, NFTs is, it's the future of art. It's the future of everything, right? It was
now it doesn't seem to be that way.
There was a huge euphoria, and people were kind of blinded by that. And there was a lot of speculation, obviously. And initially, we thought that artists, their way, they are now becoming the future of companies through NFTs. So we wanted to help them IPO and bringing all these traditional artists into Web3. That's the initial idea, but that never happened. Why? Because we wanted to learn more about the market, so we connected with other like-minded people. And this was back in 2021, before I think me and you met, or just around the same time.
Which is another conversation we're going to come to. Yeah.
It was around the same time, and we just met with 10 people at one initial meetup. And the plan was never to start a community, but then that 10 people first meetup grew to 30 people 2 weeks later.
Wow.
And we were like, wow, there's a lot of people in the space. And then 2 months later, we had a sponsored event at the Arts Club here in Dubai. And we had investors, we had people from the royal family. We had a lot of cool people.
Wow.
And we were like, wow, this is really, a lot more than we were expecting in 2 months.
Yeah.
So a few months later, we had done some events with some of the biggest brands in the space. We had Gary Vee visiting us. We did a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
And that's when it started to take off. And then it became a community. Then we launched our own NFT collection. We did a lot of cool stuff. And for the last 3-4 years, there's been a very few projects that actually survived. One thing that I'm very proud of was that we never disappeared. We were always there, always doing something. And the community is still very much alive today. Artstar did around 10 events at Token 2049. And now is building out the membership club here in Dubai.
Brilliant. Sounds great. So, you've been around the space for a long time, especially the crypto blockchain industry. I mean, I've been around sort of crypto since sort of 2017, right? I've seen the ICO crash in 2018. Then we saw sort of NFTs. And now we're sort of seeing meme tokens. I mean, what's next? I mean, where is this journey going, in your opinion?
Look, NFTs was highly driven by speculation and greed. Same with memes, but that was speculation and greed on steroids.
I like that.
Good
quote.
There was a lot of liquidity being sucked out of the other coins moving into memes, but then obviously it wasn't long lasting because a lot of people got burnt, a lot of people lost a lot of money. And when that happens, you kind of lose the trust of the retail audience.
Yeah.
So now the meme craze is kind of dying out. There's a few memes that have very significant cultural value, like the Pepe coin and some of these others. I still believe that they have a role to play in the overall landscape. But this year, I really believe that money is flowing into value. And this is something that I've been waiting for. It's flowing into RWAs. It's flowing into, so for those that don't know, it's real world asset tokenization. So tokenization of real estate, of art, of anything, really anything that's an asset. And you have money flowing into a lot of AI projects, a lot of infrastructure projects, a lot of what we call DeFi, like decentralized finance and AI. So that's where I think the future lies, at least for the foreseeable future.
Okay. Interesting stuff. Well, listen, I mean, the block sounds great. I mean, the way I see this is a networking PR kind of setup, right? The block, you can get access to, like you say, investors. You can get access to anyone that you need within that sort of field. How are you separating yourself away from the rest? I mean, there's a lot of different kind of network PR agencies out there. How will the block be different?
That's a great question. That's a really good question. So that's something that we realized as well, that, we looked, obviously, running ArtStyle, I had to see who is in the space, who is in the market, which other communities are out there, which other ecosystems are out there. And some ecosystems are doing some things really well, some ecosystems aren't doing a lot of things very well, and some ecosystems are doing a lot of things really well. And there's a lot of these small hubs and satellites around the world. But one thing that I really felt here in the UAE was that there was no one doing everything really well. And what I mean by that is there were some people that were doing events really well, or there were some people that were doing government relations really well, or PR very well, or just connections between people really well, or education. But there was no one bringing all of it together under one roof and really bringing a lot of valuable connections to their members.
Yeah.
So many times you pay a fee. I don't know, it can be anything from $2,000 a month to $2,000 a year, or to $500,000 a year. But regardless of the fee, many times I felt like people weren't getting value for what they were paying for. So we bring a different approach to the block. Everyone in the block has a very, very strong business background, a lot of connections in the space.
So people are vetted before they come through the door.
One is people are vetted when they come through the door, but we also have a lot of deals that we already have ready to bring to our members. So we have almost $9 billion worth of real estate and tokenization deals that we want to just give to the partners in our company to deal with.
Okay, wow. So is it a subscription base then to be part of the block, or how will it work?
There's a membership model.
Yep.
And what we call ourselves is we are the international chamber for virtual assets. So once you become a member, there's an entry key, let's say, that you use, and that's your membership in the chamber that gives you the basic access. But then we have access blocks on top of that. So if you're a member and you want to get access on top of that, you can get different types of bundles. So we have the events and experiences block. We have the inner circle block. We have the advisory block. We have the media and PR block. We have the deal flow block. So really depending on what you're looking for.
Interesting stuff. And what time frame are we looking for this? I mean, what stage are you at the moment with the block?
I mean, look, we already onboarded some really good members like Avalanche, Solana. We're talking to some really big players. We have, I think, more than 35 companies right now, members in our ecosystem. We have a lot of startups that have applied to be part of our startup ecosystem. And we have access to more than 200 investors, VCs, and family offices. So already the network has grown quite a lot. Now, in the next 2 months, we're also going to be opening up officially our spaces, and that's going to be quite exciting.
Interesting. And how would our viewers, how would they get access to the blog? What's the best sort of form? I'm obviously social media, but how could a new member look to join at the blog?
The best way is just if you go on theblock.ae, there's you can book a meeting online. You're going to get assigned to one of our team members and have an initial conversation. It's a discovery call just to understand your needs. Because every customer is different and every need is different. So we really tailor everything depending on who we're speaking to.
Fantastic stuff. Well, I mean, good luck, obviously, with the project. Obviously, you are technically a startup, but you're coming off the back of the ArtStyle, so you already have that network. So there's no reason, obviously, why this won't succeed. The market's pumping at the moment. We are with the date that we're on, so maybe things will change, but who knows? Here at BetTalks, we discuss everything from gaming/gambling, crypto, AI, Web3, Metaverse, blockchain, everything emerging tech within the UAE. Now, obviously your background is crypto. Is crypto gambling?
That's a great, I mean, some people would say that most crypto investors are gamblers. Is it gambling? It's as much gambling as the stock market is gambling.
Okay.
So, yes, there is a higher risk in crypto. So if you're investing into crypto, you are prone to take a higher risk, or you're not as risk averse as if you would, let's say, invest into gold or something like that. But for some people, they would say no, because they're so convinced that that crypto is the future of the financial economy, that they don't see it as gambling. They see it as a very safe bet.
Correct. Yeah. When you say the future of finance, I mean, put it this way. Your sort of local high street banks are not closing down anytime soon. So where do you see the future of crypto? Let's say within the next sort of 10 to 15 years. 0x processing are focused mainly on two things: acceptance rate and security, achieving an unprecedented level by combining proprietary blockchain infrastructure with broad account security measures. 0x processing, crypto payments for your business.
Look, it's really hard to say where crypto is going to be in 10 to 15 years, but if we just look at the next few years, the banks are now adopting a lot of stable coins.
Yeah.
They are using blockchain for their settlements. Traditionally, if you want to, let's say, send money from Dubai to the UK, it can take up to 5 banking days.
Correct.
Right? Which is crazy. I mean, we live in a really modern day and age. It shouldn't take 5 days to
With
settle payment.
KYCs, KYBs, this and everything. Yeah.
And it goes through correspondent banks to get approved and this and that. But now with the blockchain, you can settle it within 10 minutes, sometimes even less.
Even less, yeah.
And that's where I believe there's a convergence of the traditional financial markets with crypto and the technology that crypto offers. Because people confuse crypto with all these coins and tokens, right? But it's actually built on top of blockchain. And blockchain is a financial instrument and tool. It's like an infrastructure for the banks to build on top of. And we're now seeing that with Ripple working with a lot of banks, Bitpanda, a lot of these exchanges, enabling the banks to trade with crypto on the blockchain.
Yeah. I'm Rick Goz, and I'm joined by another guest. He is an expert in wealth management with over 600 plus clients. He is an Amazon #1 selling author. Kevin Crowder, welcome to BetTalks.
Pleasure to be here, Rick.
Brilliant.
Very, very glad
Thank
to be
you
here.
for coming by. We've already met before this podcast.
We have, very briefly.
Yeah, you was a sponsor at Tech Tuesdays.
Correct, yeah.
Event that is definitely excelling.
Taking over.
Taking over, yeah, is one word. But listen, good to have you here. There's a lot to talk about. We're in sort of similar fields in ways regarding payments. But KevinCrowder.com, tell me more.
Okay, KevinCrowder.com. That was born, I guess, from the recognition of the need to build myself and my brand and I guess make myself stand out amongst the large but also very diluted crowd of finance professionals, financial experts, financial advisors. And anyone that's been in the region a lot knows there's a lot of different financial advisory firms out there. Probably heard some horror stories, whether it's from smaller firms, massive, huge multinational banks. So for me, it was how do I really stand out from the crowd, differentiate myself and build credibility so that people know Kevin is the person to go to and he's a credible, trustable person when it comes to their money. So that's how KevinCrowder.com was born.
I like that. Good,
Yeah.
good. So you are a brand. The brand is your name, which obviously has to be credible, right? So you're not a branded
so.
name. It has to be credible, right? And I mean, obviously you're doing a lot in this space. 5 years in Dubai.
Correct.
Yeah. Originally doing business in London, you was telling me,
Yeah.
Switzerland.
Yeah.
So international wealth management.
Yeah.
Working with a lot of clients. How are you finding doing business in Dubai compared to the sort of corporate London, Switzerland market?
Much more freeing, I would say. And the way business is done here is it's just people are more open to doing business. One, the level of activity I find in this city compared to London and Geneva is leagues above in terms of the amount of opportunity there is to do business.
Correct.
I.e. Tech Tuesdays being a perfect example of that. Networking, I was out last night and various other things. Like if you want to go and put yourself in the position to work, meet people, do business and take full advantage of what the city has to offer, Dubai is the perfect place to do it. Whereas, and it's a little bit unfair to, I guess, compare because I was much earlier in my career in London and Geneva, but I just did not find that same openness and willingness from strangers to have a conversation and be genuinely interested in finding out who you are, how you can help them, and how you can work together, which is something I think we can agree we see so much in this city.
Correct. Dubai is very fast moving.
Yeah.
You could literally meet someone 2-3 meetings later, things are actually in process. Whereas I find these old sort of traditional corporate places, like just London and Geneva, they want to see background, they want to see experience, they want to see degrees in this, they want to see. I mean, I don't come from any sort of university qualification, and a high percentage of entrepreneurs do not have that. Not there's anything wrong with traditional education, but I didn't go down that route, and I'm a multiple business owner. So it is. Dubai to me for networking is second to none. There's nowhere like it. I do find Dubai has changed a lot. Would you agree on that?
I would 100% agree here.
For the better or worse?
In my opinion, some things have changed a lot for the better, and some things have gone downhill significantly as well, like notably downhill. So like you say, I've been here 5 years. I got here August 2020. So just after that harsh lockdown that Dubai saw, thankfully I missed that. I was in the UK at the time, and then came here just as it reopened. And again, I always say to people that Dubai has something to offer everybody. It depends what you as an individual choose to lean into. So for example, we were just talking like Ushuaia, Ocean Beach, these clubs that weren't here a couple of years ago. Like if you choose to lean into the Ibiza version of Dubai, like by all means go ahead and be my guest. But like that is what you will see, and you will potentially see the negative, I guess, things that come off the back of that.
100%.
Whereas if you choose to lean into Tech Tuesdays, which wasn't around 5 years ago, and some of the other really, really good, I guess, conferences here, like meetups, clubs, societies that have set up in that period, then by all means, again, take advantage of that as well. So it depends what you choose to lean into, I guess.
Agreed. That I always say that sort of West Beach has become like Magaluf. There is a huge party scene here that there never was 5 years ago. It's gone mad. It really has. If you want to be out every night, it's literally like a Friday, Saturday night on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, whatever. And it is a bit much. And you see the lifespan of people coming to Dubai, they'll last around about 2 years.
Yeah.
If you're out partying all the time and it becomes too much, and you will not last. You will sink here.
Yeah.
All right, because if you're not ahead of the game, as you know yourself here, there's a lot of big players here.
For sure.
So
there's a lot of competition. People are hungry. People are going to work, and you can either try and keep up with the competition or make the most of the lifestyle, get lost, like you say, sink and ultimately go home.
Agreed, 100%. So KevinCrowder.com, the book, The Secrets to Expat Millionaire.
Secrets of the Expat Millionaire.
Secret of the Expat Millionaire.
There we
nearly
go.
got there. It's a tongue twister. How did this book come around and you became an Amazon #1 selling author?
Correct.
It's pretty big.
Thank you.
How did this happen? What was the thought process?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I mentioned at the start, half of the thought process was, how do I distinguish myself from the competition, as we were just talking about? There's a lot of competition in this market, in Dubai in general, but finance as well. So how do I stand up head and shoulders above that? So that was one reason. And then the other thing came about is, if you've got, let's say, less than $500,000, it's not, yes, I can add value, but I'm not going to add as much value as if you're above that threshold, moving into the millions and tens of millions. Like that's really where I add a lot of value to my clients. So it's more, how do I give value and provide value to the world for this bracket of individuals who maybe don't quite qualify for someone of my expertise, my needs, and my fee, ultimately, but still want to take their finances seriously and want to take that step, but don't necessarily want or need that tailored, personable approach, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, how do I provide value and how do I fill that gap? And ultimately, the book was the simple and easy solution there. So, it didn't happen overnight. It was something I put a lot of work into. It's something I'm very proud about. Probably took, it's about 100 pages. Again, I wanted to keep it short, snappy, but also have enough detail in there for it to be irrefutable. So for people to be able to read it and say, okay, I really understand what he's saying here. I understand why I need to do something. I understand the logic behind it. And now I understand how to go and execute upon that myself as well. So it's all in there. But yeah, 100 pages probably took me about 3 months or so of, hard graft to put together.
And you did it from start to finish?
Did it from start to finish, yeah.
That's impressive.
Self-published on Amazon Kindle. And then, got it to #1, which was a big accomplishment.
Big achievement. Congratulations. Yeah. That must have given you a lot of credibility for your client, with your clients especially. How have you found your career as improved since you became #1 on Amazon Prime?
Good question. And it's hard to quantify these things, right? And also with the social media as well. Like I do a lot of activity, as you've seen, reels on social media, on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok as well. But it's sometimes hard to quantify, because if I meet someone networking, or if I meet someone out and about and they choose to have a conversation with me about finances, they're obviously going to go and do their own research. Yeah. So they will see my social media, they will see my testimonials, they'll see my Amazon #1 bestseller. But it's like, obviously it helps with the brand, but to give you a direct answer of how much has it directly impacted something? Difficult to say.
Difficult to say.
But again, if you can take a little bit of action to improve even 1%, go ahead and take that action. That's my philosophy.
Agreed. Yeah. Well, it's definitely credible. It's extremely credible that you put time and actually educated yourself to do that. I mean, writing a book 100 pages is still not easy, huh? So, like I say, listen, well done on that. I haven't read it, but I will.
You've got me in person. You don't need to read it, don't worry.
I'm getting all your information from your book.
Brilliant. Questions you need to know.
Brilliant. 0x Processing are focused mainly on two things: acceptance rate and security, achieving an unprecedented level by combining proprietary blockchain infrastructure with broad account security measures. 0x Processing, crypto payments for your business. What do you, obviously you have got a traditional finance background, okay?
Yes.
Corporate, banking, wealth management. What's your thoughts on cryptocurrency?
Cryptocurrency's here to stay. No one can argue with that. I think rewind the last cycle 4 years ago, or the cycle before 8 years ago, it was a fad from a lot of people's point of view. I didn't take it seriously. I didn't invest any real sort of money. If a client asked me, I'd say, no, don't go anywhere near it. Yeah. It's a casino, right? And it was a casino, and it still is in certain corners of that market, or even the full market to a certain degree. But it is here to stay. Stable coins are taking over a significant chunk of global payments internationally. I don't think they're going to go anywhere. The Trump organization's just released USD1. It looks like they've got huge plans for that. So cryptocurrency is here to stay. I think the traditional regulated financial world needs to embrace that. And it's something I've embraced personally and well in terms of my career and the type of clientele that I work with. Does it belong in client portfolios? Yes, I think it does. Quite a lot of people would probably argue that point, people coming from a regulated traditional financial world. But at this point, I think certainly a 5% allocation, a sensible allocation, it needs to be in there. But the banking sector and the regulators are 5 years behind. So sometimes, as a professional, I find my hands are a little bit tied when it comes to delivering those solutions.
Cryptocurrency is the fastest form of payment method the world's ever seen. Still unregulated. There are regulations in place, such as VARA license, but it's still an unregulated market and still very unstable. How would you manage clients on that kind of basis, coming from, like I say, this traditional background where cash flow, security is the most important thing, right?
Yeah.
How would you manage clients that were looking to sort of incorporate sort of token-based businesses, and how sort of versatile it is? What would your opinion be on that?
If you're going to embrace the crypto world, be ready to embrace the volatility, is my opinion.
Good answer.
Like, crypto can make a lot of people a lot of money and has made probably more millionaires than any other form of investment. That's off the top of my head.
Well, Bitcoin is the fastest growing investment the world's ever seen, right?
Yeah. There you go. So if you want to leap into that world, don't then cry when you get your fingers burned, right? Agreed. So educate yourself, know what you're getting yourself into. If you've got the stomach to get involved and take that risk, and it's the same with anything, investing or anything in life, right? Without risk, you don't get reward. If you're chasing those higher rewards, then you need to know the risk that you're taking.
Yeah. I agree with that. And I believe that, yes, cryptocurrency is here to stay. I believe that Bitcoin is the digital asset of gold, of the equivalent, as they say. What's your thoughts on meme tokens?
It's a dark world. It's a dark world. Hey, again, let's go back to the risk-reward conversation, right? And
But this is extremely high risk, right?
It's extremely high risk. And the thing with these things, from my point of view, if you're incredibly close to the source, i.e. if you are the first person in, you can make a lot of money. But if you're not like right there with the source who's releasing this token or one of the first people to know about it, someone's going to take that money from you. Like it's a player v player world.
Yeah.
No one's making money. Nothing's being created. It's just moving hands.
Yeah.
If you're in first and out first, well done to you. You'll make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But if that information flow to you and then to execute is slower than the pack, you're going to get your hands burned. Look at Trump coin, right?
Yeah.
How many people bought Trump at $70 odd and it's now sitting at $10, $14?
For sure. One theory, and I'd like to get your feedback on this, coming from as a traditional sort of old school corporate world, right? And I'm quite old school in myself, old school morals and values. I just think if you took an opportunity to a NASDAQ listed company and said, right, we have this token and it's called Frog Token, they're going to say to you, get the hell out of here, right?
Agreed.
They're going to look at you as if you're some kind of joker.
Yeah.
Is this just a Dubai hype? Or is this globally that people are investing in Frog Token or Dog with Hat Coin?
Yeah. It's global. It's got to be global, right? Like, look at Doge, which is probably the most popular example of something with zero utility, right? And then you've got the world's richest man and one of the most influential, Elon Musk, literally pumping it and tweeting it for the benefit himself or the community or, whatever his intentions are.
Yeah.
But the whole world is buying into these things, which we all know fundamentally has no utility. But then let's take that a step further. Let's look at the US dollar and the fiat system, something which used to be backed by gold, now no longer is backed by gold. They're printing money, it's being devalued. Like, if you drill down, like, is there an underlying backing? Is there underlying utility? You might sit here and argue no. So,
well, it's just community-based building, right?
Exactly, it's just trust, right? That's all it is.
And hype.
And yeah, trust and hype, yeah.
Today, I'm your host, Amber, and we're joined by an absolute enthusiast within the crypto space. He's really shaking things up. He has a PhD in encryption and cybersecurity, and currently he's working on something completely new, the MicroMeme movement. Welcome, Jose Torres.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
No, today it's going to be very exciting. So we'll get straight into it because we obviously have a lot to talk about. What is the MicroMeme movement?
Well, listen, meme coins have something very special, which is not only they reflect the culture of internet, but it also the multiplier effect. They can go up in a significant amount of profit. And this is why people are so excited about meme coins. Another important aspect is that in the blockchain world and cryptocurrency, nowadays after, Bitcoin was born 2009, so after 11, 12, 13, 14 years of blockchain history, we are in a situation where we need user onboarding. So we're talking about maybe 8-9 billion people in the world. I'm expecting easily 2 billion people joining blockchain and crypto in the next 2 to 3 years. And meme coins, believe it or not, they're actually helping on that process. So this is the good side of it. The bad side of it is that it has become something very difficult to win. It is very easy to get late, to be late. Just you don't know if the liquidity is there, if this is a scam, the famous rug pull. So many variables that you cannot control. And so, and the most important thing is you need a massive amount of money for these coins to move. So 100 days ago, we just had this idea of what if we just reduce the supply to, let's say, we thought about 10,000 tokens, maybe 3,000, and we found this sweet spot at 5,000 tokens. And we name it MicroMeme. And the result has been spectacular. Why? Because it is kind of like the midpoint between NFTs and meme coins. Like people nowadays, they're buying meme coins and the holding time, people buy and hold for maybe 15 minutes, 10, sometimes even seconds. Now, NFTs is the opposite. When you buy an NFT, especially if it has a real value, maybe you buy it for like a year, 2 years, 3 years to hold it. So MicroMeme is this sweet spot in which people are actually buying to hold because they're collectibles.
Okay.
So this is the we can call it innovation. This is the special thing behind MicroMeme, that because there's only 5,000, they're very desirable. People desire to have these coins.
How does that work in regards to obviously volatility in the market? Because some people maybe don't trust meme coins as much because, like you say, it's very like up and down. How does that work with the micro meme movement?
Well, see, volatility is not a bad thing.
Okay.
There's a phrase that said, people love volatility when it goes in your direction, right?
Yeah, that's so
Right?
true. Yeah.
And so I just, people who are listening to this podcast, I think we need to be friends with volatility. Mm-hmm. And volatility, you want things, in my opinion, you want things to be volatile. Now, when you're playing with some money that you need and then you have to panic sell, then volatility is an issue. But when you are putting on the table some money that you can afford to lose, maybe you're not in a rush, volatility is exactly what you want, because you want movement up and down. So again, these micromeme coins, not only they're only 5,000, but the liquidity is really low.
Okay.
And this means that they move. So for example, in 37 days, we were able to launch the just a version of Donald Trump as a meme coin, only 5,000 tokens. And in 37 days, we went from $1.37 to 8,000. So that's a 600,000% in 37 days.
Yeah.
So we're talking about, digital assets. We're talking about winning. That is winning.
Yeah, that's huge.
then it's huge. Then we launched Bukele, the president of El Salvador.
Yeah.
And again, we took it from $2. We launched it at 40 cents. We took it from about $2 to $2,000.
Wow. Okay.
And then same with Milei, which is the president of Argentina. Same thing. It went from 40 cents to $400. So you're talking about massive movement.
Yeah.
But they also go down. So not everything is so beautiful. But that's exactly what you want. You want things to go up and down.
Yeah. So if someone's trading micromeme, they really need to keep an eye on the market. And it's the 90-day cycle, did you say?
Well, yeah. You know how in Bitcoin, there is this halving. The cycles are 4 years. 4 years meaning, like a sideways, really like parabolic move. Mm-hmm. Then, of course, collapse, how Bitcoin is going to be the end of Bitcoins, and then just come again. Those cycles are about 4 years. In micromeme, this is so new that we just don't know. Okay. But we think that we completed the first cycle, because what I've told you with Donald Trump, Bukele, with Milei, in 37 days, we went from accumulation phase to parabolic. Yeah. And then in about 40 days, we went from beauty to really like going down, panic sell, and basically, I would say 90% correction.
Okay.
So now I think we're at the end of cycle 1, and then we're in the beginning of cycle 2. And that took between 90 to 100 days.
Wow, okay. So let's take it back a little bit. You have a PhD in encryption and cybersecurity. How do you go from that to now this micro meme? Like, that's a big jump, right?
I'm still digesting that, to be honest with you, because I was a little bit against meme coins, because when you get to know blockchain and the power of blockchain for transparency, many usabilities in all different sectors, because blockchain is going to be used in any single sector you can think of. So in the last, 10 years, we have seen new cryptocurrencies that present something different than Bitcoin. Some are faster and different technologies and reversibility. There's so many things. And then meme coin is something that, it's just a game. They're funny, but they're kind of like, I don't know. It's just, I think it's when you're passionate about the technology, when you're an ambassador of blockchain and you see meme coins, it's just,
Yeah. Would you say meme coin is a bit more of a gamble when it comes to crypto?
I would say, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Now they represent the internet culture, which I think is powerful.
Yeah.
You know, but it has some gamble aspect, very significant. So I went to college in the U.S. to do engineering, and then I was lucky enough to get this opportunity to do a PhD in Spain in encryption. Not because I was looking for that. It's just because back then, this is a long time ago, the government had some incentive and they had some scholarships.
Okay.
I said, okay, well, let me do that. And then for 4 years, I studied. This is before Bitcoin, so it was not called blockchain or anything like that. But it was very similar, how to have the private key, the public key, and all of that. And so when I got to know Bitcoin early 2015, I was able to use all that knowledge. That, to be honest, it was just, when I finished my thesis, my doctoral thesis, I put it on a shelf. I said, let me do marketing, because I love marketing. I love personal development. I love motivation. I love, teach people about finance and time management and many things, you know. Yeah. But when I got introduced to Bitcoin mining, I really understood the power of it. Mm-hmm. And so for the last, I would say, 10 years, I've been teaching people the power of the use case of blockchain and cryptocurrency. But meme coins is something that I did it just for fun. Hey, let's put $100 or $50 and let's just play. But now they're becoming, like I told you before, they're becoming a nice door or gateway for people to onboard into blockchain.
Yeah.
So I really see, a lot of people say, what is the usability? Well, right now, I think they're huge on user onboarding, which is very important.
Yeah. How do you find it? Obviously, the cybersecurity background. Would you say you can spot like red flags and stuff within the crypto a bit easier than obviously maybe like a novice trader?
Well, there are some red flags that you have to, especially in the crypto space. For example, one thing that I really appreciate is when there is 100% circulating supply. Okay. You know, when there is like team allocations or the owners have tokens, when there's tokens outside of circulation, surprises can come, and you don't want to have those surprises. So 100% circulating supply is a very good thing. The liquidity, how much money is in the protocol, especially when it's locked, then you know that cryptocurrency can never go to zero. So that's another green flag. So 100% circulating supply, liquidity locked, and a strong narrative. So for example, in political pump, the narrative are the politicians. So imagine right now the world is ruled by politicians. You know, Twitter is, you know, they're fighting,
Yeah, Twitter's an interesting space at the minute.
For sure. So when a cryptocurrency has a strong narrative and also have a community behind and has 100% circulating supply and liquidity locked, those four aspects working together, it's not a guarantee, but at least it's a good surface to play with.
Okay. And obviously on this podcast, we talk a lot about emerging tech, web, AI. How would you see AI affecting the crypto space? Like, do you say it's a positive thing? Do you think?
Wow. I'm a big believer on evolution and improvement. So I don't know if it's positive or negative, but I want to think that it's just part of the evolution. And when you cannot stop something, so you better get used to it, learn it, and use it, and try to use it in a good way. One thing that people need to consider is, for example, in today's world, traders, people that trade the market, most of them, they're humans, right? Of course, you have bots, but at the end of the day, the bot is controlled by a human. Okay?
Do you think bots can ever replace human traders?
Well, bots are replacing a lot of there are more bots than traders in the world right now, for sure.
Yeah.
But again, the bots will need always a human to the settings, different trends and different changes. Mm-hmm. But with AI, we're gonna have AI agents. Okay. So in the near future, I'm talking about no more than 2 years, we're gonna have more AI agents trade in the market than humans or bots.
Wow.
So talk about building for traders or building for users. Maybe in the future we're gonna build for AI agents.
Yeah, wow. That's
And that is
different.
I don't know if it's scary, I don't know if it's good, I don't know if it's bad, but you better understand it.
Yeah. I think I find I'm more behind the camera, marketing, etc. I think from like an outsider's perspective looking in, it's such a new and emerging market with crypto, like your new movement with the micro memes. Like there's so much going on. Who knows what maybe is going to happen next week, right? But it's good.
That's why, see, one thing that I would encourage people that are listening to us is embrace change, like hug change, because in today's world, where everything is next, we're scrolling up and down, swapping left and right. Today we have MicroMeme. Tomorrow we'll have something else, and then AI, and then look at what happened with the Metaverse. Remember, Metaverse was something huge. Even Facebook changed the name from Facebook to Meta. Then AI came and gone.
Yeah.
And we don't know whether that's coming back, and we don't know what's going to happen, but it's gone. Who's talking about a Metaverse? Nobody. And so the same can happen with AI. Maybe there's something that it will just... So again, we are in a very fast-moving world.
Yeah.
In which sometimes I feel, and I'm sure a lot of people feel like, please, let's stop this. I'm going out. Just leave me out of this. Yeah. But I think we have to embrace change, and we need to be strategic. Follow your plan. It is good to have maybe like a 6 months, 1 year plan. I don't believe in 5, 10 years plans anymore.
Yeah, no.
It's impossible.
Change is too much.
Yeah, but you gotta have like a year. I like a 6 months, 1 year plan. I'm a big fan because the world will change, and sometimes you have to pivot, sometimes you have to maneuver. But the only way of winning is winning based on your game plan.